Hi, I am Jose Varghese. I am responsible for technical delivery of Paladion Managed Security Services. Today I wanted to share a few thoughts with you on our new security program automation product called Provian. Before going into what Provian does, let me share with you what I see as security operation pain points that the enterprise CISO faces today. In most of the enterprises, we run the security operations as two programs. One is a vulnerability management program or a VM program, and the other is a threat management program. The VM program involves doing application security assessments, configuration audits, penetration tests, etc. The vulnerabilities identified in these tests need to be sent to the asset owners who will then mitigate it. Of course, all vulnerabilities don't get mitigated. Some remain unsafe for a long period of time. Some get mitigated, and some of them the risk has to be accepted for a finite amount of time. So the VM program generates a lot of data in terms of assessment reports, which get stored in emails and file servers. A lot of these interactions between the security team and the asset owners happen over email. A lot of status updates get maintained in Excel sheets. So some of the assessment reports are in Excel, some are in PDF, some are in Word format, and in some cases there are multiple vendors doing this testing. There are different types of tools used for the testing. So managing all these reports in a uniform format at a central place itself is a big challenge. If you've been running a VM program for a couple of years, you already know what I'm talking about. Now the asset owners who have to mitigate these vulnerabilities have to be reminded again and again by the security team, and sometimes tracking all these statuses becomes a bit overwhelming. A risk acceptance is given, for example, for a period of 90 days. Oops, it's already 100 days and I forgot to check back with the asset owner on what happened. On top of all this, as a CISO, I have to update my management on some parameters which involve deeper analysis. For example, how many high-risk vulnerabilities are open on critical assets which are open for more than 30 days. Managing a VM program effectively and efficiently today requires more than having a few tools and a few security specialists. You need an automation tool where all your reports are published centrally in a uniform format, a built-in service desk and automation and workflow tool which will not only help you to assign these vulnerabilities to the right asset owners, but remind them to close it, auto-escalate if they don't act on the reminders, and also proactively inform you if there is some action that you have to take. If you cannot manage the full life cycle of the vulnerabilities from identification to remediation, the vulnerability program is of little use to the organization. So it really does not matter if you're using an HP Web Inspect or a Nessus, or you're doing all these assessments manually. For managing the full life cycle, you definitely need a tool which will provide you data centralization, workflow automation, and report analysis. What we have done in Provian is our experience in running these VM programs for the past 10 years in large enterprises. We have taken all those learnings, requirements, and best practices and packaged them all into one tool called Provian. Now coming to threat management programs, it's no different from the VM program. Getting several threat alerts from your SIM tool or your DLP, or even if you're subscribed to a managed security service log monitoring provider, getting a large number of alerts is of little value to the organization unless you take those alerts through the entire life cycle. What I mean is, send the alerts to the right asset owners, ensure that they take remedial action, take feedback from those asset owners on the alerts if required so that you can reduce the false positives. So many times these alert notifications and these exchanges with the asset owner happen over email and Excel sheet and becomes very, very difficult to track. And since you are not storing any of these alerts, all of these alerts in a central place, you cannot take out any meaningful trends or analysis. What Provian does is, irrespective of whether you're using an IBM Q1 Radar or an ArcSight SIEM or a WebSense DLP, all these threat alerts get published in a uniform format in Provian. All the asset owners respond via Provian. If they do not respond, Provian sends them a reminder. If they don't act on a reminder, Provian escalates it to their reporting manager, so the action really happens. And since we have all these alerts in one central place, you can do all kind of correlation and trend analysis very easily. How is the threat alert volume of this month compared to the past 3 months? Is there a concentration of a certain type of alert or a concentration of attacks on one of your assets? What is the average response time of your asset owners for a certain type of alerts? All this information you can readily take out of Provian. So in summary, if you're running a VM and TM program, you need an automated tool which will help you with all these critical functions: data centralization, automated workflow, and report analytics. Honestly, we have not created anything new here in the Provian tool. All we have done is taken our learnings of the past 10 years in running enterprise VM and enterprise TM programs at large places. And all of these learnings we have packaged into one tool called Provian. In the past 2 years, I have seen this tool make a lot of difference in the way security operations is run. I'm sure you will find this tool interesting and worthwhile.